What's up? Hello there. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Abiodun Adelu. I'm a relationship and a personal development coach. In this video, we'll be talking about how to build friendship in a love relationship. How to build friendship. Now, this is at a point when you have started your love relationship already. Both of you have agreed that we want to start a love relationship that leads to a wonderful, godly, fantastic marriage. What are the things to begin to do? Now, there are many things that you can begin to do. Some people can begin to carry themselves to restaurants and then they are eating, they are snapping pictures and all of those things. Those things are good, they have their place. But if there's a main thing that you need to do when you enter into a love relationship, if you are truly sure that this is somebody I want to marry, except both of you are just doing, okay, let's test the waters. But if you are sure that this is somebody I want to marry, then what you need to build is to build that fellowship together and friendship. Fellowship is built spiritually. Friendship is built by you guys warming up to each other and becoming friends to each other. Marriage is boring if you are married to somebody who is not your friend. And by friend, I mean somebody that you don't relate with very well the same way you relate with your friends. Now, at the beginning of your relationship, both of you may feel awkward. You are still trying to warm up to each other. You're not free with each other the same way you are free with some of your other friends. But as time goes on in the relationship, it's supposed to get better, and you're supposed to get to the point where the same way you are free with other friends, you are also free with this person. In fact, that is a sign that you guys are growing a relationship. So when you guys are still awkward, when you guys are still having you're having frictions, it shows that you are still overcoming that first stage of trying to warm up to each other. But when you warm up to each other, then you become friends and then you can relate very, very well. At that point, you have built friendship. I don't know what people think married people do when they are together, but whatever you feel we do together, a major thing we do together is communication. What we do together is to talk, is to have time for gist and enjoy each other's company. So it's not about maybe, okay, every time we are doing romantic stuff. There are times for that, but romance will be frictional if you guys are not best of friends. You guys will not flow together very well. So how do you build this friendship together in relationship? Yes, even in marriage, you still continue to build friendship, but it's something that you should start the journey in your relationship. How do you build friendship together? It is by communication. What married people do most of the time is communication. Communication about different things. But you guys need to learn how to communicate. So like I said, the first thing is communication. You must have time for gist. Both of you need to begin to study what interests my partner, what interests me, and how can we begin to blend our gist together. You must have time to gist about various things of life. You can talk about your goals, talk about your visions, talk about politics, talk about technology, talk about fashion, talk about different things. Now, some of this topic will be interesting, will be more interesting to one of you than the other. One person may find political and leadership topics interesting, and the other person finds fashion and cooking more interesting. Both of you over time will begin to warm up to each other. Don't say that anytime she's talking she's boring because you feel like she's not talking what you like. Don't feel like what she's saying is not spiritual. Every time you want to be talking about Paul and Silas. Now, those things are good, but you must have time you also gist. There must be time when you talk about your day, talk about the office, talk about various things in life, talk about politics, talk about life, talk about different things. Have time to gist, and it's something that you need to consciously do every time. Anytime you are having a gist with your partner, it's not a waste of time, it's an invested time. Number two, in building friendship, you need to seek to understand each other's personality. Now, both of you are different when it comes to personality. In fact, psychologically, it has been established that unlike poles attract, meaning that introverts can attract extroverts. Outgoing person may attract someone that like to stay indoor. Begin to study yourself and understand what is my partner's personality and how can I begin to relate with him or her based on this personality. Don't compare your partner's personality to yours. Don't say you don't even like to go out, you just stay indoor every time. No, you guys are different. And you need to first, not change them now, you need to understand their personality. Most times people focus on trying to change each other. You want to try to change your partner from one way to another. No. Your job is not primarily to change your partner. Your job is to understand your partner and act and relate with your partner based on that understanding. Number three, read books together on different topics and discuss them. So one of the things that make your discussion rich is when you talk about your personal development, your learning goals. Okay, this week I'm reading this book. Okay, next week I'm doing this. Next week I'm taking a course on this. Oh wow, share that course with me. If it interests both of you, you can take the course together, or you can read the books together, or one person can read it and share with the other person, and then both of you can now begin to share your ideology. When you do that, you begin to grow in your perspective. How you judge matters. When you are feeding on the same thing, you begin to think the same way. Number 4, attend conferences and seminars together. Now, this is a part when you guys begin to flow together physically. It is one thing for one person to go to a conference and then give me gist of how the conference goes. It's another thing for us to attend conference together. If we are physically closer to each other, in fact, we should maximize that period and attend programs together, attend conferences together, attend seminars together, and then when you come back, you can share what you learned from that. It helps you to blend in your ideology when you are listening to the same person, when you are going to the same places, and then you can now begin to talk about those things, and you discover that your gist time is becoming very, very interesting because there are a lot of things to talk about. And finally, build your interests around the same thing. At the beginning, you guys may have different interests. If you have good interests, good for you. But if you have different interests, and having different interests does not mean that one person's interest is superior to another person. So you don't think that the person that loves to talk about food is carnal, and then the person that loves to talk about maybe vision and goal and pathways and portals is more spiritual. No, it isn't. Both of you will need to blend your visions together. You need to listen to my pathway and portals, and I need to listen to your food discussions too. So when I'm talking about my pathway and portals, you show interest and you begin to develop interest in pathways and portals. I believe some of my audience should understand what I mean by pathways and portals. But if you don't, never mind. And the person that loves to talk about food and technology, I will also learn from that person. Oh, okay, this is what Facebook is doing. This is what metaverse is all about. So another person, discussions about metaverse can be boring. But you need to begin to know about those things if it interests your partner. Now, if your partner loves sports, you need to begin to like sports. Sport lovers love sport gist. If your partner is a male and he loves sport discussions, you need to learn about it. Even if you feel like football is boring, all these things are boring, you need to learn about it. The main thing is that you need to begin to appreciate what interests other person. If I feel like you don't appreciate what interests me, and then you feel like only your own discussions should be dominant, then I will feel like you are trying to push your interest on me. So if I begin to develop interest in what interests you, and you also begin to develop interest on what interests me, eventually you'll find out that both of us are beginning to develop interest in similar things. So much that when we have interest in similar things, our gist will not be boring. So one person may be enjoying one gist and then the other person is feeling bored. That is when they don't have the same interest. But when you begin to develop the same interest, it will begin to help you. There are many other things you can do together that can help you to build that friendship together. As you go on in your relationship, you'll begin to find out those things that you guys can do together that can help you to build that friendship. But remember, you will not pray all the time. You will not fast all the time. You will not study the scriptures all the time. You will not do all of those romantic stuff all the time. But most of the time, you guys will settle down and talk. Talk about your home, talk about your vision, talk about your goals, talk about your plan for the year. Talk about technology, talk about fashion, talk about food, talk about sports, talk about different things that interest both of you. That is how to build friendship, because that is what friendship is all about. Friendship is all about common interest, common values, shared goals, shared aspirations. So when you begin to work on those things together, it will help you to really look forward to the next time you talk, and then your discussions will not be boring. And at that point, you can now begin to discover that it is easier to call your partner your bestie. Somebody else may be your bestie before, that's fine. But as you build your friendship, the goal is to become each other's bestie, to the point where when we are talking, it doesn't matter whether time flies or not, we are enjoying each other's company. And those things are very, very important. I believe you've learned something from this video. If you've truly learned something, make sure you like this video and subscribe if you have not, and put on the notification button to get notified when I post the next video. Thank you.